Hi, and welcome to English-Fabule. Are you learning English? Great. Let's learn English with a very interesting story. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Let's get started.
So, it will be right to start with Arnold Schwarzenegger talking about his story first.
The first rule of success is to have a vision. You see, if you don't have a vision of where you go, and if you don't have a goal where you go, you drift around and you never end up anywhere. I couldn't see myself becoming a farmer or a worker in a factory or anything like that, even though my parents wanted me to stay there and have a normal life. But that was their vision, not mine. My vision was totally different. I felt that I was born for something special, for something unique, for something big. Then one day I went to school. I remember I was 11 years old, and they showed a documentary about America. And there they showed in this documentary the huge skyscrapers, the high-rises, the huge bridges, the 6-lane freeways, and all of this stuff. And I said to myself, that's where I want to be. I don't want to be around here with these little farmhouses and these little buildings. I want to be in America. And of course I went to college to study English. I studied the accent removal, acting classes, and all of this stuff. All day long, I worked and I worked and I worked. And within a short period of time, I made one movie called Hercules in New York, which of course went right into the toilet. But it didn't discourage me. I still had the same vision. And then all of a sudden I did Streets of San Francisco. I did Stay Hungry and Pumping Iron and The Villain. And then all of a sudden, I was asked by Dino De Laurentiis and by Universal Studio, the biggest studio, to star in Conan the Barbarian. And after I did Conan the Barbarian, the director at the press conference said to the press, the director was John Milius, he said to the press, if we wouldn't have had Arnold, we would have had to build one. So think about that. The very body that they said can never be sold because the time is wrong. A few years later, I'm doing Conan the Barbarian, and it was the #1 hit at the box office when it came out in the summer of '82. Think about that. And the director says, if we wouldn't have had his body, we would have had to build one. So all of a sudden, my body became an asset, not a liability. And the same thing was with Terminator. After we were finished filming Terminator, Jim Cameron said to the press, if Arnold wouldn't have had that accent and talked like a machine, I think the movie wouldn't have worked. So think about that. The body and the accent that they attacked was an asset. But I didn't listen to those losers. I didn't listen to them at all. Because that's exactly the way it was in politics again, when everyone said no, 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 and it can't be done. And then became governor of California. And this is with everything like that. It's just the reality of it is that you cannot listen to the naysayers. So this is a very important lesson for all of you. So when someone says, no, this is a stupid idea, you in your mind, you don't have to say it, but in your mind just say to yourself, fuck you, you're an asshole. What do you know?
As you listened to his speech, you probably understood why the name Arnold Schwarzenegger has become a true symbol of determination and incredible hard work. Have you ever heard of someone who became famous in completely different fields? He is one of those few people. As a young boy growing up in a small village in Austria, he was dreaming every day of a bigger life. This boy not only dreamed big, but he also worked incredibly hard to make those dreams come true. His story is truly amazing, inspiring, and motivational, taking us from his quiet childhood to worldwide recognition. Arnold's journey is not just about one success, but many. He first became known as a bodybuilder, shaping his body into a powerful and award-winning physique. He wasn't just good, he was one of the best in the world, earning titles like Mr. Universe and Mr. Olympia multiple times. His dedication and discipline in bodybuilding set the stage for everything that followed. But Arnold didn't stop there. He had a vision beyond the world of muscles and competitions. He decided to become an actor, even though many people doubted him because of his strong accent and unusual build for Hollywood at the time. Despite these challenges, Arnold became a massive movie star, known for his action films like The Terminator and Predator. He became a global icon, recognized everywhere for his famous lines and powerful presence on screen. And yet, Arnold's ambitions stretched even further. After conquering bodybuilding and Hollywood, he decided to enter the world of politics. Again, many were surprised, but Arnold, with his characteristic drive, became the governor of California, one of the largest and most important states in the United States. He served as governor for 2 terms, making significant changes and leaving a lasting impact. What is the secret behind Arnold's incredible journey? It's his unwavering determination and his strong drive to succeed. From a young age, he set goals for himself and pursued them with relentless energy. He faced obstacles and criticisms, but he never gave up. This book will explore the different chapters of Arnold Schwarzenegger's life, from his early days in Austria to his current status as a global figure. It's a story of ambition, hard work, and the power of believing in yourself, no matter how big your dreams may seem. Prepare to be inspired by the life of Arnold Schwarzenegger, a man who truly shows that anything is possible with enough dedication and drive. 2. Young Arnold in Austria. Arnold Schwarzenegger's story began in the small Austrian village of Thal, near Graz. He was born in the summer of 1947, the second son of Gustav and Aurelia Schwarzenegger. Post-war Austria was a very different place than the world knows today. Life in Thal was simple, and family was at the center of everything. Arnold's father, Gustav, was the local police chief. He was a strong and disciplined man, and family life was strict. Arnold described his upbringing as traditional for Austria at the time, where children were expected to do what their parents told them to do without any questions. Discipline was firm, and like many children in that era, Arnold experienced physical punishment when he misbehaved. He remembers this strictness, but also acknowledges it was just the way things were in Austria then. His relationship with his father was very complicated. Gustav's favorite son was Arnold's older brother, Meinhard. This favoritism was clear, creating a sense of distance between Arnold and his father. While Gustav was not always emotionally supportive, Arnold had a good connection with his mother, Aurelia. She remained a loving presence in his life, and they stayed close until her passing. Even from a young age, Arnold was drawn to sports. His father, a former athlete himself, encouraged his sons to participate in activities like Bavarian curling, a winter sport. Arnold played various sports as a boy, but it was weight training that truly captured his interest. Around the age of 14, his football coach took the team to a local gym. This visit was a turning point. Seeing the weights and the possibility of building strength sparked something in young Arnold. He quickly became fascinated by bodybuilding. He started training regularly in 1960, and by 15, he knew he wanted to make it his career. He was inspired by bodybuilders he saw in movies like Reg Park and Steve Reeves. These men were not just strong, they were movie stars, symbols of success and strength. Arnold dreamt of a life beyond Thal, a life of achievement and recognition. Arnold began training seriously at a gym in Graz. He was incredibly dedicated, even breaking into the gym on weekends when it was closed so he wouldn't miss a workout. This early dedication shows the extraordinary drive that would define his entire life. He met Kurt Marnuel, a former Mr. Austria, who became an early mentor and encouraged his training. He also found inspiration and guidance from Alfred Gerstel, who further supported his bodybuilding ambitions. Even in these early years, Arnold's sights were set on America. He saw bodybuilding as his ticket to a bigger world, a world of opportunity. He believed that in America, he could become a star and achieve wealth and fame. This dream of America began to take shape in his teenage years, fueled by his passion for bodybuilding and a burning desire to be somebody special. His early training in Austria was the first step on a path that would eventually lead him from a small village in Europe to global stardom. 3. Becoming a bodybuilder. Arnold's passion for bodybuilding grew stronger every day. He was incredibly dedicated, pushing himself through intense workouts to sculpt his physique. Even as a young man in Austria, his commitment was clear. He started training seriously in his teens, driven by a dream to be the best. Arnold visited a gym in Graz regularly, inspired by bodybuilding idols he saw in movies. He was so focused that he would even break into the gym on weekends when it was closed, just to make sure he didn't miss a workout. This level of dedication quickly paid off. Arnold began competing in bodybuilding contests in Europe. He entered and won Junior Mr. Europe in 1965, demonstrating his early potential. The following year, at just 19 years old, he won Mr. Europe, showing he was rapidly progressing in the sport. These early victories were crucial in building his confidence and reputation in the bodybuilding world. In 1966, he competed in the NABBA Mr. Universe competition in London, a major international event. He placed second, losing to Chester Jordan, who had better muscle definition, particularly in his legs. This second-place finish at Mr. Universe wasn't a defeat for Arnold. It was a learning experience. One of the judges, Charles Wag Bennett, saw Arnold's potential and offered to coach him. Arnold moved to London and stayed with Bennett's family. Bennett helped Arnold refine his training, focusing on improving his muscle definition. Living in London also helped Arnold improve his English skills. In 1967, all the hard work paid off. Arnold won the NABBA Mr. Universe title, becoming the youngest person ever to achieve this at the age of 20. He won the title again in 1968, solidifying his position as a top bodybuilder in Europe. Winning Mr. Universe was Arnold's ticket to his ultimate goal, America. He had dreamed of moving to the United States since he was 10 years old, seeing it as the land of opportunity. In 1968, at the age of 21, Arnold finally moved to America. He arrived in the U.S. with limited English, but a burning ambition. He started training at Gold's Gym in Venice, Los Angeles, a legendary gym known as the Mecca of bodybuilding. He trained under the guidance of Joe Weider, a prominent figure in bodybuilding and fitness publishing. At Gold's Gym, Arnold found himself surrounded by other dedicated bodybuilders. He trained alongside people like Rick Drayson, who became a training partner and even designed the famous Gold's Gym logo. Arnold's physique improved further with the intense training and supportive environment at Gold's Gym. He also met and befriended professional wrestler superstar Billy Graham, expanding his network within the fitness world. Arnold's focus now shifted to the Mr. Olympia competition, the most prestigious bodybuilding contest in the world. In 1969, he entered Mr. Olympia for the first time, but was defeated by Sergio Oliva, a three-time champion. However, Arnold was determined to win. In 1970, at the age of 23, Arnold achieved his dream and won his first Mr. Olympia title in New York. This victory made him the youngest Mr. Olympia ever, a record that still stands today. Arnold continued to dominate the Mr. Olympia competition, winning every year from 1971 to 1974. He became a global bodybuilding superstar, known as the Austrian Oak. In 1975, he won his sixth consecutive Mr. Olympia title. This competition was famously documented in the film Pumping Iron, which helped to popularize bodybuilding and launched Arnold towards mainstream fame. After the 1975 competition, Arnold announced his retirement from professional bodybuilding. However, retirement didn't last forever. In 1980, Arnold surprised everyone by coming out of retirement to compete in Mr. Olympia again. He was training for the movie Conan the Barbarian and had gotten back into excellent shape. With only 7 weeks of preparation, Arnold entered and won the 1980 Mr. Olympia. 4. Arnold the actor. After years of dominating the world of bodybuilding, Arnold Schwarzenegger set his sights on a new challenge: Hollywood. He dreamed of becoming a movie star, a goal that seemed ambitious, especially coming from Austria, with a strong accent and a very muscular physique. His first step into acting was in 1970 with the film Hercules in New York. Under the name Arnold Strong, he played the lead role. However, his Austrian accent was so thick that his voice had to be dubbed by another actor. This was a tough start, and it showed the initial hurdles he faced. People in Hollywood weren't sure what to make of him. Some agents and casting directors told him his body was too weird, his accent was too strong, and even his name was too long and difficult to pronounce. They suggested he change everything about himself to fit in. Despite these early criticisms, Arnold didn't give up. He took smaller roles to gain experience. In 1973, he appeared as a hitman in The Long Goodbye. A more significant role came in 1976 with Stay Hungry. This film was important because it showed his acting potential beyond just his physique. For his performance in Stay Hungry, he even won a Golden Globe Award for New Star of the Year. This award was a sign that Hollywood was starting to see him as more than just a bodybuilder. A key moment in his early acting journey was the documentary Pumping Iron in 1977. This film showcased the world of bodybuilding and Arnold's dedication and personality. It made him more recognizable to the public and increased his profile. He also made some guest appearances on television shows during this time, further building his acting resume. Arnold auditioned for the role of the Incredible Hulk, but he wasn't chosen because of his height. While he didn't get to be the Hulk, these experiences were all part of his learning process in the acting world. He continued to take roles, even in comedies like The Villain in 1979, alongside Kirk Douglas and Anne Margaret. In 1980, he played Mickey Hargitay, the husband of actress Jane Mansfield, in a biographical film. The real breakthrough for Arnold came in 1982 with Conan the Barbarian. This sword and sorcery epic was a box office success. Finally, Hollywood and audiences saw Arnold as a leading man. His muscular physique, which was once seen as a problem, now became a major asset for this kind of role. Conan showed that he could carry a film and appeal to a wide audience. A sequel, Conan the Destroyer, followed in 1984, although it wasn't as successful as the first. In 1984, Arnold landed the role that would define his action star persona: The Terminator. Directed by James Cameron, The Terminator was a science fiction action film that became a cultural phenomenon. Arnold's portrayal of the emotionless, relentless cyborg assassin was iconic. His famous lines from the movie, like "I'll be back," became instantly recognizable and are still quoted today. The Terminator cemented his status as a major action star. The 1980s were a golden age for action films, and Arnold was at the forefront. He starred in a string of successful action movies throughout the decade, including Commando, 1985, Raw Deal, 1986, The Running Man, 1987, Predator, 1987, and Red Heat, 1988. These films showcased his physical strength and screen presence, and audiences loved seeing him in action-packed roles. He developed a screen persona that was tough but also had a sense of humor, which set him apart from other action stars. One aspect of his acting career that surprised many was his ability to do comedy. In 1988, he starred in Twins with Danny DeVito. This comedy film was a huge success, proving that Arnold could be funny and charming on screen. The contrast between his large physique and DeVito's smaller stature was a source of much of the humor. He followed this with other comedies, like Kindergarten Cop, 1990, and Jingle All the Way, 1996, showing his versatility as an actor. Arnold continued to star in action films alongside his comedic roles. Total Recall, 1990, a science fiction action film based on a story by Philip K. Dick, was another major hit. He earned $10 million for this film, plus a percentage of the profits, demonstrating his growing star power and box office draw. In 1991, he reprised his role as the Terminator in Terminator 2: Judgment Day. This sequel was even bigger than the first film and became the highest-grossing movie of the year. It was praised for its special effects and action sequences, further solidifying Arnold's place as a top action star. Throughout his acting career, Arnold maintained a sense of self-awareness. He understood his strengths and played to them. He often chose roles that used his physicality and his unique way of speaking to his advantage. He even tried his hand at directing an episode of the television series Tales from the Crypt in 1990, and a television movie called Christmas in Connecticut in 1992. By the early 1990s, Arnold Schwarzenegger was one of the biggest movie stars in the world. He had successfully transitioned from bodybuilding to acting, overcoming initial doubts and challenges. He became known for his action roles, but also surprised audiences with his comedic talent. He had built a successful career in Hollywood, achieving the dream he had when he first came to America. 5. From actor to politician, Arnold Schwarzenegger's life took another surprising turn as he moved from the world of Hollywood action movies to the world of politics. While many actors in Hollywood are known for their liberal views, Arnold was openly a Republican. This was quite different and made him stand out in the entertainment industry. Even during his acting career, Arnold was involved in politics in small ways. He believed in Republican ideas, like less government control and more individual freedom. He spoke at the Republican National Convention, explaining why he felt at home with the Republican Party, contrasting it with socialist ideas he remembered from Austria. One of his first official roles in politics was when President George H.W. Bush appointed him as the chairman of the President's Council on Physical Fitness and Sports. In this role, Arnold encouraged Americans to be more active and healthy, using his own story as an example. He served in this position for several years, raising his profile in the political sphere. However, a bigger opportunity came in California. In 2003, the state was facing a special election to recall the current governor, Gray Davis. Many people in California were unhappy with Governor Davis, and there was a movement to remove him from office through a recall vote. In a surprising move, Arnold announced his candidacy for governor on a popular television show, The Tonight Show with Jay Leno. This announcement was a sensation. Nobody expected a famous action movie star to run for such a high political office. The media quickly nicknamed him the Governator, a mix of governor and Terminator, referring to his famous movie role. Arnold was not like typical politicians. He had never held any political office before. But he was incredibly famous and charismatic. He used his celebrity status to his advantage, attracting huge attention to the election. People were curious about this movie star who wanted to lead California. The recall election became a major event, attracting attention from across the country and even the world. There were many candidates running to replace Governor Davis, both Democrats and Republicans. Despite his lack of political experience, Arnold's name recognition was a powerful asset. During the campaign, Arnold focused on his outsider image. He presented himself as someone who was not part of the usual political system promising to bring fresh ideas and fix the problems in California. He talked about his success in bodybuilding and acting, suggesting he could bring the same determination and drive to governing. He did not participate in many political debates, which was unusual for a candidate. However, his celebrity appearances and speeches were enough to keep him in the spotlight. His message of change and his famous name resonated with many voters. On Election Day, the people of California voted to recall Governor Davis. Then, they voted to choose his replacement. Arnold Schwarzenegger won the election to become the next governor of California. He received a significant percentage of the votes, beating other candidates by a wide margin. His victory was a historic moment. A bodybuilder and action movie star was now the governor of one of the largest and most important states in the United States. It was a testament to his unique appeal and the public's desire for something different in politics. Arnold Schwarzenegger was sworn in as the 38th governor of California in November 2003. He took office promising to bring change and solve the state's problems. As a Republican in a state with many Democrats, he knew he would face challenges. Early in his governorship, Arnold focused on issues he had campaigned on, like fixing the state's finances and improving the economy. He also worked to repeal an unpopular car tax that had been introduced before he took office. These early actions were popular and showed he was serious about fulfilling his promises. However, governing California was not easy. Arnold quickly learned about the complexities of state politics, dealing with different political parties and powerful interest groups. He faced opposition from unions and other groups who did not agree with his policies. Despite the challenges, Arnold also had some early successes. He was able to work across party lines on some issues, showing a willingness to cooperate with Democrats. He also used his fame to bring attention to California and promote the state on a national and international level. The transition from actor to politician was a major shift in Arnold Schwarzenegger's life. He brought his unique energy and determination to the role of governor, shaking up the political landscape in California and demonstrating that a non-traditional candidate could succeed in American politics. His journey from Hollywood to Sacramento was just beginning, and the coming years would show the full impact of this unexpected career change. Point 6. Arnold's big changes. When Arnold Schwarzenegger became the governor of California in 2003, it was a big change for him and for the state. He had been a famous bodybuilder and a movie star, but now he was in charge of one of the largest economies in the world. People were curious to see what kind of governor he would be. One of the first things people noticed was that Schwarzenegger was not a typical politician. He was a Republican, but he often worked with Democrats. He said he was fiscally conservative, meaning he believed in careful spending, but socially liberal, meaning he had open-minded views on social issues. This approach sometimes surprised people from both political parties. A major focus for Schwarzenegger as governor was the environment. He believed strongly in protecting nature and fighting climate change. California became a leader in this area under his leadership. One of his most important achievements was signing the Global Warming Solutions Act in 2006. This law was the first of its kind in the United States, setting limits on greenhouse gas emissions. It required big companies in California to reduce their pollution, aiming to bring emissions down to 1990 levels by 2020. This was a bold step, and it made California a model for other states and countries. Schwarzenegger also pushed for renewable energy sources like solar and wind power. He wanted California to move away from fossil fuels and create a cleaner energy future. He supported the idea of a hydrogen highway, promoting hydrogen fuel cell technology for cars and trucks. He even converted one of his own Hummer vehicles to run on hydrogen to show his commitment. To make these changes happen, Schwarzenegger knew he needed to work with people from different political backgrounds. He appointed Susan Kennedy, a Democrat, as his chief of staff. This was unusual, but it showed he was serious about working across party lines. He believed that good ideas could come from anyone, no matter their political party. Of course, Being governor was not always easy. Schwarzenegger faced challenges and opposition. He called a special election in 2005 to push some of his ideas, but voters rejected them. This was a setback, but he learned from it. He realized that he needed to build more consensus and find common ground with different groups. Despite the challenges, Schwarzenegger worked hard to improve California. He focused on fixing political problems and making the government work better. He wanted to leave a positive mark on the state. When he left office in 2011, his legacy as governor was complex. Some people praised his environmental leadership and his willingness to work with Democrats. Others criticized some of his policies and approaches. However, it is clear that Arnold Schwarzenegger brought big changes to California. He put environmental issues at the forefront and pushed for innovative solutions to climate change. He showed that it was possible to work across political divides to achieve important goals. His time as governor was a significant chapter in his life, different from his bodybuilding and acting careers, but marked by the same drive and ambition to make a big impact. He left office with California having a stronger focus on environmental protection and a reputation as a leader in the fight against global warming. This was a lasting change that started with Arnold's big decisions as governor. 7. Arnold's work and family. Arnold Schwarzenegger's life has been a constant balancing act between his ambitious career goals and his personal life. After achieving fame in bodybuilding and Hollywood, family became a significant part of his world. In 1986, he married Maria Shriver, a television journalist and member of the Kennedy family. This marriage was a union of two very different worlds, Hollywood and American political royalty. Together, Arnold and Maria built a family, having 4 children, Catherine, Christina, Patrick, and Christopher. Balancing a demanding career with family life was not always easy. Arnold was deeply involved in his acting career during the early years of their marriage, often filming movies around the world. His dedication to his work sometimes meant spending time away from his family. However, he always emphasized the importance of family in his life. He often spoke about how Maria and his children provided him with a grounding force amidst the whirlwind of his career. His children have grown up in the public eye, navigating their own paths while being part of a famous family. Catherine has become an author, Patrick an actor, and Christina and Christopher have pursued different interests. Arnold has supported their individual ambitions and maintained a presence in their lives. Beyond acting and politics, Arnold was also a successful businessman. Even before Hollywood, he had a keen business sense. He and fellow bodybuilder Franco Columbu started a bricklaying business and a mail-order fitness equipment company. Arnold was a savvy investor, particularly in real estate. These ventures made him a millionaire in his 20s, long before his major film roles. His business acumen continued throughout his life, with investments in various sectors and ownership of events like the Arnold Sports Festival. This business success provided financial security for his family and allowed him to pursue his passions without financial constraints. Arnold's life illustrates the complexities of managing a high-profile career with family responsibilities. His journey has included incredible professional success alongside personal setbacks and growth. While his public image has often been defined by strength and achievement, his family life has revealed a more human side, marked by both joy and challenges that many people face. His ability to navigate these complexities, learn from his experiences, and continue to pursue his goals while valuing family remains a significant aspect of his life story. 8. Arnold today. After leaving politics, Arnold Schwarzenegger didn't stay away from the spotlight for long. He returned to acting, appearing in action movies again. He joined Sylvester Stallone in the Expendables series, playing Trench Mauser. He also took leading roles in films like The Last Stand and Escape Plan, showing he could still be an action hero. More recently, Arnold revisited his most iconic role in Terminator: Dark Fate, proving that even decades later, he could still embody the Terminator character. He even ventured into television with his action comedy series, Fubar, on Netflix, demonstrating his ability to adapt to new entertainment formats. Beyond acting, Arnold remains very active in areas he cares deeply about. Climate change is a major focus for him. He founded the Schwarzenegger Initiative and hosts the Austrian World Summit annually. This summit brings together leaders from around the world to discuss and find solutions to environmental problems. He uses his platform to advocate for cleaner energy and policies that protect the planet, often working across political lines to achieve progress. Fitness continues to be a core part of Arnold's life and message. The Arnold Sports Festival, which he started years ago, is still a huge international event, celebrating bodybuilding in various sports. He promotes healthy living and exercise, encouraging people of all ages to prioritize their physical well-being. Even in his 70s, he remains dedicated to his own fitness routine, inspiring millions worldwide. Looking back at his life, Arnold Schwarzenegger's journey is truly remarkable. From a small Austrian village to becoming a bodybuilding champion, a Hollywood superstar, and a governor, he has achieved success in multiple fields. His story is often seen as the embodiment of the American dream, showing that with hard work and determination, anything is possible. He has used his fame to influence positive change, particularly in health and environmental awareness. Arnold often shares advice with young people, emphasizing the importance of having a clear vision, working hard, and never giving up. He encourages them to be useful and to find their own path to success, drawing from his own experiences of overcoming challenges and achieving ambitious goals. His legacy is not just about muscles and movies, but also about ambition and using one's influence to make a difference in the world.
Hey there! Just a second before you go. If you learned something new today, please give this video a like, write your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. It only takes a second, and it really, really helps to create even better English videos for you. Your support means the world. Thank you.